Yo, it is your boy, the Macho Hype Man here. Oh yeah. And in today's video, I'm going to be discussing my predictions for AEW Full Gear, coming to you live this Saturday from the Kia Forum in Los Angeles, California. So the first match that we're going to be discussing is the ROH Tag Team title match on 0 Hour between MJF, a mystery partner, and the Ass Boys. Now, it says that MJF needs to find a partner, but honestly, I don't know if he really can, unless he requires the services of Samoa Joe. However, if he does do that, then that would mean that Samoa Joe would be getting a future AEW World title shot, assuming that he can beat Jay White. Now, he could do that, or he could do what he did at Wrestle Dream and defend the ROH tag team titles in a handicap match. We've seen him do it before with great success against the Righteous. However, the Guns have more numbers, especially with Jay White and Juice Robinson. So in my opinion, I do believe that he will require the assistance of Samoa Joe. And if that happens, then my prediction would be that MJF will retain the ROH World Tag Team titles. Alrighty, up next we're going to be discussing the AEW Women's World Title match between Timeless Toni Storm and the AEW Women's World Champion Hikaru Shida. Toni Storm has honestly been going through this identity crisis, especially after she was kicked to the curb by the Outcasts. And ever since Hikaru Shida won the AEW Women's World Title back from Sierra, she wanted to have the success that Shida has. However, she's not Hikaru Shida. That's why my prediction is going to be the current champion, Hikaru Shida. Alrighty, up next we're going to be talking about the TBS Championship Triple Threat match between Sky Blue, Julia Hart, and the TBS champion, Chris Statlander. Now, Chris Statlander has been a fantastic champion since she won it back at Double or Nothing from Jade Cargill. However, I feel like this time there could be a different result. With Sky Blue being under the influence of the Mist, or so we think, especially since she fired her own Blue Mist at Julia Hart, I do get a feeling that that could be a major factor. So I do believe that Sky Blue could try to blind Julia Hart again, but instead she'll blind Chris Statlander, allowing Julia Hart to pick up the win and bring back gold to the House of Black. So with that being said, my prediction is that Julia Hart will become the new TBS champion. Next, we're going to be discussing the AEW International title match between Orange Cassidy and Jon Moxley, Part 2. Now, in my opinion, I don't really think that this match needs to happen again, because in my opinion, now the first match was fantastic, don't get me wrong, but I just don't really see Orange Cassidy beating Jon Moxley. But then again, I also don't see Moxley taking the international title back, because it honestly feels like a demotion for him, because he's a 3-time AEW World Champion, and granted the international title was raised to new heights with Orange Cassidy as champion. However, I feel like it would be a demotion for Jon Moxley. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and say Orange Cassidy. Next, we're going to be discussing the AEW International title match between Orange Cassidy and Jon Moxley, Part 2. Now, in my opinion, I don't really think that this match needs to happen again, because in my opinion, now the first match was fantastic, don't get me wrong, but I just don't really see Orange Cassidy beating Jon Moxley. But then again, I also don't see Moxley taking the international title back, because it honestly feels like a demotion for him, because he's a 3-time AEW World Champion, and granted the international title was raised to new heights with Orange Cassidy as champion. However, I feel like it would be a demotion for Jon Moxley. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and say Orange Cassidy. Up next, we're going to be talking about the AEW World Tag Team Title Fatal 4-Way between Legado del Fantasma, Ricky Starks and Big Bill, the House of Black, and FTR. Now, Big Bill and Ricky Starks winning the tag team titles honestly felt kind of random to me, but the more I see them in action, the more I love them as a tag team. Honestly, it feels like what Team Taz should have been with Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be. With the House of Black and FTR feuding with each other, I am going to have to go ahead and say Ricky Starks and Big Bill. From one tag team match to another, we're going to be talking about the Young Bucks against the Golden Jets of Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega. Now, Omega does have experience against the Young Bucks. He's beaten the Young Bucks while he was tag team champion. However, that was with Hangman Adam Page. And Chris Jericho is no Adam Page. However, I do feel like this new tag team of the Golden Jets is interesting. However, if they lose, then they must break up their tag team and Kenny Omega goes back to being with the Elite. However, if the Young Bucks lose, they will forfeit their tag team title shot that they earned at Wrestle Dream that they've honestly just been sitting on for a month or so, giving it to the Golden Jets. I'm honestly torn with this one. It honestly feels like it could go either way, especially with the Young Bucks teasing a potential heel turn. However, I'm going to go ahead and say Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho to win this one and further cement the Young Bucks to turning on Kenny Omega. Next is the trios match between Luchasaurus, Nick Wayne, and the TNT champion Christian Cage, taking on Darby Allin, Sting, and Adam Copeland. Now, this is one of the matches that I'm looking forward to the most because it's one of Sting's last matches, and it'll be the first time we see Adam Copeland and Christian Cage go at each other in AEW in an actual sanctioned wrestling match. I'm also hoping to see Darby Allin get his hands on Nick Wayne, especially after Nick Wayne cost Darby the TNT title at Wrestle Dream. However, I do feel like Luchasaurus could potentially turn on Christian Cage, especially after how he lost the TNT title to Christian Cage. I could be wrong, but I could also see Edge. No, wait. What am I saying? Of course, Edge wouldn't turn on Sting and Darby Allin. He will hopefully get his hands on Christian Cage, though, in my opinion. He definitely needs to knock some sense into him. So that's why my prediction, I'm going to say Christian Cage, Nick Wayne, and Luchasaurus are going to be taking a major L to Darby Allin, Sting, and Adam Copeland. And finally, we come to the main event, where we're going to see the Switchblade Jay White taking on the AEW World Champion Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Now, this feud has been building for months, especially after Adam Cole got injured and MJF had his Triple B stolen. And he's honestly, anybody who comes into contact with them has been attacked by these masked assailants and this mystery person who is behind the devil mask. Now, months ago, I would have said that it was MJF, but now I'm honestly conflicted. I don't think it is MJF. I don't think he's the one behind the devil mask. I do, however, feel like the person behind the devil mask is going to appear at Full Gear after the match, which I believe MJF will win. He will win back the Triple B, and then these masked assailants will attack MJF. And I honestly don't know who the devil is. I got 3 guesses, but I could be wrong with all 3 of them. My guesses are Jungle Boy Jack Perry as a way to write him back onto TV after his suspension after Wrestle Dream. My other prediction, it could be Shawn Spears. who honestly has been off the radar in AEW, and given his history with MJF, I would not be surprised if Shawn Spears turned on him like everybody else has. And this one is a major curveball. But imagine if it's CM Punk. CM Punk comes back and tries to reclaim the title that he never lost. I highly doubt that that one could be true, but you never know. It's wrestling. So with that, my prediction is going to be Maxwell Jacob Friedman will retain the AEW World title. I feel like I need to throw up after saying that. Alrighty, everybody, that's going to do it for today's video. If you did enjoy my predictions, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you never miss out on a future upload. And let me know who you think is going to win at AEW Full Gear down in the comments below. Until next time, deuces, ooses.